Hello. So today, or now, we're going to be looking at tyres that go down. Now this tyre keeps going down. Irrelevant what bike it's off, but it keeps going down. So I'm going to check it now for punctures. Now, I've given it a quick spin around with my hand and I can't feel anything that's hanging out of it. So I'm just going to do a quick thing whereby a little bit of very weak washing up liquid and water mix, and then just soak the tyre, the crown of the tyre, while spinning it. I've got it on my balancer because it makes it easier to do. So there we go, that's all done. So now what I'll do is I'm going to run my hand over it just to keep this liquid moving. Give it a few seconds and then I can start looking for the puncture. Now it seems a bit strange because in the treads sometimes it looks like there is bubbles coming out. So if you just fill the tread up with the solution, you'll soon see if there's anything coming out. And on the short time that I've been looking at this now, I think I can possibly safely say that there isn't a puncture in the tyre itself. Maybe you spray this really gently. You don't need to actually spray it out so it's gone mad, but we can do that. I would still say no puncture in there. Just to be sure, I'm just going to pour some liquid on it, just to make sure that it's filling that up. Yeah, there's nothing in there, nothing there. Okay, so we're happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is the sides, because we know there's not a puncture actually in the tyre. And as soon as you put your fingernail in there and you rub these out, they will instantly come back if there's a puncture. Okay, so now I'm going to do this on this side. Again, very gently, you don't have to spray it out because you want to try and get as little air in there as possible while you're spraying that. Okay, so we can turn that around now and look for lots of bubbles. And I think we have a winner. Seems to be a very small leak there, but I'm not going to bother. Normally I would mark the tyre where the leaks are, but I'm not doing that at the moment, and the reason is because I know, yeah, there's one there. There's quite a big one there. I can actually see that coming out. So there is a big one there. So I will put a quick mark there with my Sharpie. And again, it doesn't really matter because the reason that it's coming out the sides here is because the tyre has not been fitted correctly. So there was either some corrosion on the wheel, which is quite normal for mag alloy wheels, or what we have is they haven't used any sealer when they put it in. So really, when you have a tyre changed, in the old days, we used to, and I know this because I used to work at one point in the 80s when there was the big recession on. I did some work for a guy called George Lord. George was a great guy. I was good friends with his son, and there was a group of us who used to go and do work in his tyre shop. And it was a great time, and we learnt so much about tyres, and all riding motorbikes then. It was really important that we learned about tyres, about the concept of tyres, how they're made, how to fit them correctly, the importance of balancing them, and everything else. And there was quite a big leak on this side. So you can see that one there from there, possibly. That one's a big leak. Now, that one's causing problems right the way across it. So if I do the start and finish line, now you may think I won't see this, but I will. It will be evident when I come to do it. So there's a big leak there. So that will need sorting out. So okay, so we now know that there's not a problem with the tyre itself. It seems absolutely fine. And you can always double check and triple check and make sure you're happy with it all. But generally, the actual tyre itself looks to be in good condition, which is quite good because I haven't got any mushrooms to plug it with. So we'll look at that later. I'm just checking because there was a froth there, but that's okay. It's all okay. Everything seems to be fine. So I'm happy that it's just this here, which you can see. So I'll get it off of this, and we'll get the tyre removal kit out, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Two things here. This is our leak, which we've got to go, and always remember where the valve is. Now on these wheels it's okay because you've got the sign there for the wheel next to where the valve goes. So you know that if I mark this up on the tyre, which I'm going to do in a second, that's where the tyre goes, or that's where it was before. This may help you if you're going to be, well, you will be balancing it later. So I'm just going to put a mark on there with a piece of, believe it or not, insulation tape, so I know where that is. Now it's important to think with this tyre, or with these wheels, because this one's off of a Laverda, that the chain is round the other way, so your rotation will be around the other way. I'm also going to put a bit of tape here, just so I know where the worst of the thing was. And now what we've got to do is break the bead. Well, this little machine is brilliant. It's totally adjustable, so I can move that all the way to the end there, do that up, and then that's that bit broken. Now this being a radial is going to be, in my mind, a little bit tougher than the softer compound tyres that I'm used to working with. And it doesn't seem to like, that's broken there. I was going to say it seemed to unbreak. There we go, now we cracked it. So that's all good. I mean, sometimes you only have to do it a couple of times and it pops off. But that's that one off now. So we'll turn it over. We'll break the bead on the other side. Now what we have is this little device. This is called the duck neck. It basically protects things and stops you from damaging the side of the wheel. So we put that on the edge of the wheel. Right. Again, it is fully adjustable. Like that. And then I'll go away and I'll get all my bits and pieces and we'll whip this off. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. Got my box of bits over there. But just a quick explanation for you. Somebody who was living in there came in and asked me why this is called a duck head. So if I show you, you can see exactly why it's called a duck head. And it's important that this piece here goes inside the rim, inside the tyre, because this is what you're going to be levering against. So when you put this on, this is fully adjustable on there. You have to put it in, and where you've broken a bead, push it down so you're inside the bead, and then tighten it up. And that's the simple way of getting these tyres on. These kits do come with these spoony things, which you can try and use. I don't get on with them very well. I don't think that they're all that. So I'm going to use my tried and tested tyre irons, tyre levers, sorry. And then we've got to try and get it in over this thing, and then get it over the duck head. So it may take both levers to do that. Now the reason this is important is, well, you'll see in a minute, is that the duck head will be taking the tyre off for us in just a minute. Now, as predicted, this is not going to go easy because this is a radial tyre. Radial tyres are a pain compared with cross plies because they're so much harder on the I've got no idea what that bang was. I didn't like it. So there we go. Right, so now we're off. So I can take these out now, I think. It may well decide it's going to put itself back in. I'm hoping it won't. I needed that to go over that piece. Alright, so now we got this on here, which I don't know if you can see like that. It's quite a simple process now, he says, of putting in the stop. So there's a stop which goes in here and stops this wheel from turning. And then you've got your long arm, which again is here, is this again. And that goes in there. And then the problem you'll have is trying to keep this from lifting. But the duck head, as you can see, should take that out. Now these are not simple, they're not easy, especially not when you get to 65. But you will get to a point where it will go easier. If it doesn't go one way, you can always try it the other way. There we go. And that pops that tyre off. And as you can see, what's come off with the tyre is a bit of the paint off of the wheel, which doesn't bode well, does it? So we've done that. Now all we've got to do is the same thing. It's off. Getting it back on is going to be fun, but it's off. So now we can take out the duck head and look at what we got here. Now we know there, see, there, from where I put the tape is where it's leaking. Now this is corrosion and rust. So there's only one thing to do with all of this now, which is what I'm just about to do, and that is a wire brush and a drill and go all the way around that and take that out. So I'm going to get my drill. And although we're not doing an awful lot, it's not like metal work, these are essential when you're doing this, because what will happen is this will shred wire. So I'm going to get on with that, and then I'll get back to you when I've done it. Well, that certainly made me sweat, and I've cleaned the wheel up now, but you can see here there's a bit of paint missing off of the side of the thing, and that's going to make a difficult seal. So at the moment I have the tyre outside because it's 40 degrees here today, so I have the tyre outside warming up so that it's easier to get on than it bloody well was to take off. And I'm going to grab a cup of tea, and then I'll show you the stuff that I've got, which I'll fill that up with, and that will seal that, believe it or not. And then we should have a sealed tyre. Okay, so I'll be back in a second, but I just wanted to show you how bad that corrosion was. That was pretty bad, and that took me a long time to grind that out. That was so bad. So here we go, cup of tea time. Let the tyre warm up in the 40-degree sun we have here, and then I'll be back. Right, so part 2 of the struggle. Goggles and that can go over there. Right, so now we need to put the thing back on. I've got some gloves for this because I'm probably going to be doing a bit of hammering and smacking and all sorts of cramping. So the first thing I'm going to do is, what I've got is some of this mounting paste for tyres. It's basically a lubricant. So I'm going to put loads of that on. Loads and loads of that on around here. For this part of it, I want to get this side on first. So, sprocket goes on here because the leverder has the sprocket on the wrong side. So the sprocket goes there, wheel turns that way, so I want to make sure that I've got the direction arrows going the right way. It'd be nice if I could see them. Now this is a Michelin pilot. Alright, there you go, rear, that way. Right. So this is a Michelin pilot, which I don't know if it's going to be any good on the leverder, because the one that I've sold had Diablos, Rossi Diablos on, which are really, really good tyres. So it might be a case that if I keep the bike, I may not keep the bike. At the moment, I do like these so much, I am thinking about selling up a motor and keeping these. Alright, so just double check our direction is correct. Now this sometimes, like that, you can just push it on. That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, and that's because it's been out in the sun for half an hour. Yeah, it makes such a big difference putting it out in the sun. Yeah, if you can get these things warm, then they're soft, which is what the compounds on the modern sports bike tyres should be. So get that in there. Get that on there. Right, so now we want the duck egg again. Duck head, sorry, not duck egg. I don't know where I got duck egg from. And if I can get this to work, okay. Actually got caught on that. It's done it again. Look. So what I might do, actually, put a bit of that on there. That might help. That's better. Right, so if I can get this up like that, get this to start going over like that, and then get the duck head on like that. Do that up, then it's just a case of putting these on here like this, and these will then stop this will be lifting back up. Now, as you can see now, this has been out in the sun. It is so much easier to work with. So that's gone down to there. So I want to put one in there, like that. These clips are great for this, just for keeping things from moving around. I'll get my knee on that. I'll move that around there. Or my knee's on it. And then I'll put this back under here to keep that from coming out. And now we're going to need the brace just to get it where we need it. And now we should be able to force that on with a quick pop. Here we go. There we go. That's how simple it should have been. And if it was that simple coming off, it would have been a pleasure to work with. So now what I'm thinking is, what I need to do next time I do one of these is to stick it out in the sun for a few minutes while we're waiting for it to come out. There we go. So that's it. I'll now pump this up to the desired temperature. Or the desired pressure, sorry. I will put the tape next to the Mazzocchi sign, so I'll move that around. That's not a problem, I can spin that. And then we're ready to rock and roll. So once I've pumped it up and I've got it all ready to go, then I will tell you, and we'll do, there we go, and we'll do the balancing. So that'll be part 2. This is the end of part 1, and hopefully I will see you very soon.